Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to New York session. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being patient with me. I was just trying to die off my lunch before I start talking. Today I decided to eat a bit early because I've got a long day. I've got quite a few teachings to do and I wouldn't get time, so I had to eat now. Usually I eat around 4 p.m. 5 p.m. GMT or London time, but today I have to eat early. Okay, so let's look at the dollar index as usual. So yesterday at 1 we said that they were going to take price to 97.90 level, and they've done that beautifully. So far this week, objective achieved. We might continue going up, but personally, I'm done for the week. I still have a trade on the British pound, which I'll show you in a minute. Dollar index will continue going up. So as I mentioned, just follow the fair value gap, okay, until it changes direction with a shift in market structure. We're gonna stick with this direction for now. So dollar index, we are expecting a continuation to the upside. I'm expecting a continuation to the upside, meaning euro likely gonna continue going down. It's trading into this last up candle here, and I'm expecting them to drop further. I think I gave this level as a target, and then the 50%. So the 50%, it's a target for now, and then they might reach for the 1.16177 level. So this high comes in at 1.16421, and then 1.16177. Those are the downside objectives for the euro. British pound, I got a beautiful sell yesterday. I think when price dropped in here, exactly that gap, I placed a sell limit because I knew they're likely gonna take out this low and trade to this candle's high, and then even potentially over here, which that's if the dollar index continue going higher. Even if the dollar index does not continue going higher, euro pound is going to take out this high, which is the previous week high, right? It's going to go and take out the previous week high, so we will have strength in the euro and weakness in the pound. Hence, as long as this is heading for that, there's a high probability that British pound is going to drop below this candle's low, which comes in at 1.34900. okay, and then below that is a New York session gap, which starts at 1.34708. So those are the downside objectives for the British pound. Now, where we are, we might continue going up from here. Let me put this in. Right, we might continue going up from here. So I'm not bearish. This was a short-term selling, but I'm not bullish either. Okay, I'm gonna wait for price to show me that it wants to go up before I do anything with it. So until then, I'm sticking with my downside objectives, and once I get a rejection, a confirmation that price wants to go up, then I switch. Okay, so that's the business. Euro pound, as I said, they're likely gonna go up here. If you are around since Monday, right, we talked about price taking out this low here and then rejecting and then going higher, and they did consolidate for some time, and you've seen such a big move away so far. I think we will continue going higher to attack the previous week high. So this New York session, in case price decides to pull back, watch this gap here with that down candle. That is where you wanna watch price anchor itself for another leg to the upside. Okay. Dollar yen yesterday was amazing. I can't believe it. I couldn't believe my eyes. Right, we talked about this level being a resistance, and it did react, came back down to this down, and it did react, this down candles as an order block was on the H4. Let's go to the H4. We came down into that order block on the 1 hour, and then on the H4 we gave immediate close right here, immediate close, and that was the golden ticket for a long to expand higher. And like I said, they were going to go and close in the gap over here, 147.35. So that is the upside objective for the dollar yen, and we have a nice gap here, so we are expecting higher prices. Gold. So gold, I think I missed an opportunity for this week, which is fine. I focused only, so my analysis was on the monthly. Right, my analysis on the monthly was looking for price to come down here, but totally closed my mind to the weekly. And from the weekly perspective, it looks like this week was meant to go and take out the previous week high. So all this whilst I was expecting price to basically go down, this week was highly probable that they were going to take out previous week high. So as it stands, that is what I think price is trying to do. However, once they take out that previous week high, maybe I'll anticipate a quick rejection to come back down again, unless this monthly rate here means nothing and they want to just continue going up. Because if it means something, which I think it does, because on the weekly we have closed through this down candle here. Okay, so it does mean something. So I'm expecting lower prices. So maybe not this week, next week we might anticipate price going down. If they can go up and take out this high, that would be good. Okay, so if they can go up here today, probably they might reject before the week will end. So watch this volume imbalance, the upper portion of it, which is because they've already tapped into it and went down. So just that portion, that's where you're expecting price to go. And it comes in at 3365.84. Okay, So we want price to reach for that and then reject and come back down to attack the previous month low, which is the June low. I think it looks too equal to me because they didn't go too much below it. So that is the condition for gold as it stands. So buying gold, it's not a bad idea. Like I said, I was looking at it this morning. I wanted to sell short, and as usual, something told me check on the weekly time frame, because last week the whole sell that I got for price to come here was based on how the monthly closed. Okay, it wasn't based on the weekly, it was based on the monthly. So I was actually using the monthly for my trade idea last week, and I forgot to look at the weekly. This goes to show that I'm also human. I make mistakes sometimes. Okay, I make mistakes sometimes, and I'm lucky that this week I didn't actually take a trade on gold for a sell, because had I done that, then they would have punished me. I was looking for the immediate close somewhere here, I think on the H4, yeah, that day on Thursday. This candle, I was watching it. At some point it was down here closing below, and I was looking for the sell after that, but it failed. Okay, so like I said, look for a continuation to the upside on gold, and once we get there, you're gonna want to anticipate something like this, and then you look for a sell to come back to attack the previous month low. Crude oil yesterday was amazing as well. I got a nice sell off from here. As soon as, remember yesterday I was saying it looks to me that they were going to drop down to, let's go to the 1 hour right here. Okay, so I was waiting for the H4, but when I went onto the, I was waiting for the H4, but when I went to the 1 hour and I saw this candle closing below this candle's low, this one right here, as soon as I saw that, I knew they were gonna go down here. All right, so immediately after this candle closed, that one I sold on the 15 minutes right in here. So if you look at that gap right there, it was a perfect sell. I actually took 2 entries on it. I was gonna hold on to it, but I thought it's Thursday, so just close it. If they pull back, then you sell again, and that is what I've done this morning. So we had a drop away from it into that level, and then today they've come back into the 1 hour gap. Okay, right here. So I'm expecting a continuation to the downside to attack this low. Now on the weekly time frame, we should be going down, okay, because we have a fair value gap created. We have an inside candle here, and we've just taken out the high and rejected on the daily, this one. So to me, this is a pullback, and then we expect price to now make another move back down. Now if we don't do that, next week we will open and then we will drop down to attack this low, which is that one. Okay, so that is also another great opportunity for next week for a potential sell on crude oil to attack this low, and we could also come for that one, because we will have something like this. See if I can find an example. Yes, something like this. So notice how This candle is an up candle. This candle is also an up candle. This one is an inside candle. The only difference is we don't have a fair value gap, okay, which we do on the lower time frame, but here we don't. So this is an up candle, that is an up candle, takes out this high. So same thing, we would expect this candle to go down, but if they don't, then the following week you're gonna anticipate just a straight line to the downside. So if we don't come down this today, then next week this same level, or probably the one above it, which I don't think it will do that. If it does, I don't think it will. But from this level we need to come here. So 65.40 and and 64.50. 65.40, 64.50. That's a nice number. So those are the two downside objectives from today going. Okay, that's what the market has intended to do. And for me to be wrong, let me bring that one up so you can also mark that. For me to be wrong, they will need to close above Thursday's candle. So if we go and close above Thursday's candle, then all that I said in terms of price reaching for 65.40 and 64.50, put that to the put it in the bin, and then we potentially look for longs to probably trade up here. Okay, so that is the business for now. So you're looking for a continuation to the downside basically, and where we are now is a perfect level for that to happen. Okay, now let's go to ES. So ES yesterday, they managed to trade all the way up to attack that high, and I missed it. I did not miss it. I didn't take the trade. That is what happened. So I saw the movement happening on the M15 right in here. Okay, when they dip down into that same level that I highlighted right here, that they will use it as a support level there. So on the M15 I was watching this candle down into it, rejected, created a gap, and I was waiting patiently to see if they could dip in and then make the move up. And for some reason price did not give me that, so yeah, I missed it. Now with what has happened yesterday and potentially today, let's take all that one off. What we need is that candle to close like this. If we close like this, next week we will be attacking 62.46. If we close like this, next week we will be attacking 62.46 and probably 62.23. Okay, so keep an eye on this as well. I don't recommend trading today because it looks like it's trying to turn around. Now if you definitely have to trade, then watch this imbalance during the New York session. So from 2 p.m. watch this. If you see the opposite of this happening here, which is if price comes up and then drops like this, very next candle you want to sell short. We have nice equal lows here, and then this, you can start targeting that because they could go all the way down. Sometimes Friday could be a very It could be the day that they do all that business. They take one day to wipe all the entire week price action out. Okay, so it's within the realms of possibilities for price to do that. Hence, if you have to trade, that is how I would trade it if I'm going to trade. Or even this current candle, if it can close below that like this, I will still use it, but it needs to close. Okay, so it's the closing price that's most important. Okay, so that is ES for you. Now let's move on to the interesting parts, which is the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, yesterday we talked about price going higher because they closed bullish, right? Right here, price closed bullish. So yesterday was a day that price was gonna go up to attack. I think they already attacked it on the H4. Yeah, they came back into the gap and then flew away. And if you have been around that candle, that one right there, that was your entry. Okay, I've talked about it several times. If we have a gap and we dip into it and we close immediately above the down candle, place a buy limit at the down candle's high, and then off it went. Okay, so far so good. Now let's go back to the high time frame targets that we highlighted a couple of, I think it was 120, 125, if my mind recall. Sorry, 118, and then 130, 130, and then 144. We go to the weekly. Yep, right there. 118421. So they've reached for the first one. So the next one will be 129611. That will be the next upside objective for Bitcoin. Now that one will be a major level. Okay, so make sure you are not chasing price. Once we reach that, sometimes a pullback can happen. So be careful. Once we reach the 121, that is where probably everybody and their grandmother will start talking about Bitcoin, and it'll be too late. So once you get to that level, listen around. If you hear a lot of people talking about Bitcoin, like yesterday, someone made a bit of noise about it, and I'm like, it's starting. Because the moment people that don't know anything about trading starts talking about Bitcoin, then you know there's been a big move and it's getting too late to get yourself in there. Okay, but obviously we have some competence. I won't say competence, we have some room to the upside. So yes, maybe those that will come in will have a bit of joy, but that 129611 level, be careful once we reach there. Now you can follow it on the daily, right? Again, now I don't have to talk much because you have been around since January, so you know how to read it. We have a nice potential gap forming, and price should stay above it for us to go to that level. So let me go back and draw it again. Okay, so There we go. Okay, so as long as that gap, this one here, stays open, we are going 129. Okay, if anything happens, maybe a pullback into it, that's fine, we still go up. And it can happen because price doesn't go up in a straight line, so there will be sometimes a pullback, but if you see it dropping, just highlight this gap. That's your level to anticipate the pullback to hold. Ethereum, we've blasted through all the targets, so let's look for something else. Let's go to the monthly. That's quite interesting. Okay, it looks like we are coming here. The up candles low. Okay, 3.147. It looks like that's where we are going to rebalance that gap. So again, on the daily, for the continuation to happen, what's the imbalance? Okay, for price to sustain the continuation to the upside. We are in a nice market maker sell model. This is beautiful, right? Distribution. This was a run on stop below 50%, which is normal. I think we've discussed this, right? Below 50% run on stop and rejection. So definitely that can also even be used to project upside objectives. So 3084.22, that's a decent target. They can also reach for the 3.344, but most important level is that weekly balancing level. So 3147.48, that's where you wanna get to if you're buying, day trade, scalping. Yeah, look for that as a draw on liquidity for now. And like I said, you can use these projected levels as well if you want to go extra. Solana, same thing, we've reached for that high. I think it missed the entry by just a few pips, but again, same narrative. Once we take out a low, close above a down candle on the H4, next candle buy, and then off we go. This is our next area of entry, possibly. If we dip into it, buy an opportunity for continuation to the upside to 168.58. 168.58. That is the next upside objective. 168.58. Okay, XRP, amazing. That one also moved away nicely. Yesterday I think I was talking about this down candle, right, and then placing your stop loss below this candle slow, and then expecting them to expand higher to 2.4799, and then 2.6557, and again they've done that nicely. So going forward, we are looking for a continuation to the upside. From the monthly perspective, I think, like I said almost a month or two ago, this is a reaccumulation on a 3 month basis. so they will expand up one more time, and this down candle here is just pre-accumulation. They are buying more with that, so we'll be going all the way back up to 3 point, let's call it 3.4. okay, then we're going back to 3.4. and what we need now, most importantly, is a fair value gap to form. Okay, what we need now is a fair value gap to form. So with this huge massive candle, next week should not come all the way back down, but trade one more time higher. If we get that, we are locked in. Okay, and then we'll be going to 3.4. so most is going to depend on how next week is going to trade. I do think we will likely go there, but yeah, I think we'll go there, but I just always like the confirmation. Okay, I don't like speculating anymore. I used to speculate ideas in the head, and if they don't conform to the idea in my head, then sometimes it becomes like I would say a problem, but it becomes hard to switch. Okay, so for me to be convinced you're going up, we need that fair value gap to form, and this huge candle is a sign that they will form it. So on the daily, you need to keep an eye on how price is trading and leaving the gaps. So today, after today's closure, this gap is very, very important. Okay, and they're going for a high, or they've gone for a high, so maybe a pause here can happen, or a down candle for an accumulation can happen, and then they will continue going higher. There's a gap that needs closure, 3.0045. so that'll be a partial profit level for those that are day trading, or even short-term trading. That can be a nice level to take something off if you get an entry. I think right now too late if you want to buy it. Wait for another accumulation phase. Hype, we didn't do anything with hype. Now if we close based on the weekly, then monthly is also likely gonna close. Then we will start looking for a buy, but we need a gap. So this candle closure will not be enough. We need one more candle to confirm. Then we will forget this one and then bring our attention to that one. Okay, and then AI16, finally we got the push away as I was looking for to the upside, and they left the gap as I drew it yesterday. So that's nice to see. Now we need it to be sustained, so we need another up candle today so we can have two gaps. Okay, if you have two gaps, perfect. It means that we are definitely gonna go up. If you have one, maybe they'll pull back to this end. That might not be good. Okay, so we need today to also stay. Even like this is fine. It will leave this as a gap, and then we start looking for longs. And for those of you that have missed it, too late. You have to wait for another down candle to form, then you can also look for the buy. Then finally, Chachki is turning around. I was looking at the H4 this morning, and we have a down candle with immediate close. Not the best because we don't have anything here, in my opinion. We don't have anything here in terms of, let's say, a low being taken. This low is still intact, so it's not the best down candle price to move up. Had we had that, maybe something like this, a low here, then that would have been nice. So this one here is a little bit risky, but who knows? It's just a risk. You can take that risk over here and then anticipate price. So far this gap is open, so that can be filled, but from what I'm seeing, it might go beyond that, and this can create some huge candles. It's unbelievable. And maybe Monday will come and then price will be here and I'll say I told you so. All right, so that is that for the Chachki. Let's go back to our currencies and look at crude oil. Crude oil's rejecting nicely so far. Let me see. We got about 15 minutes to go. I don't like that candle unless it can go and close below this candle's low, then that'll be great. If not, then yeah, I don't like it because it's gonna leave a gap. It's gonna leave this, and I don't like that unless the very next candle trade through it. Then game time, we go short. Okay, and gold, you're looking for price to go up here. Dollar yen there, British pound here, euro here, and then here. So what dollar index? Let me give you the dollar index target. It is right here. That is 98. So from this gap straight to 98. Okay, that is where we are going, unless we lose this swing low, then we switch. If not, 98. All right, so that is all I have for you for this morning. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you. I see you, Deka, my how do I used to call her? Teacher's pet. Yes, she was teacher's pet back in the day. She's watching us. Thanks for tuning in. And Leo, thanks for tuning in. All right, excellent. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you on Monday for another week. How this week ends doesn't matter. We always find a way. So take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy, and I'll see you on Monday. Peace.